ahead and start. So the first one says describe the difference between a relation and a function. So talk to me. In a function, the elements of the domain cannot repeat. In a relation, it really doesn't matter. Okay? So let's write that down. In a function, elements of the domain cannot repeat. And the domain would be your x's, right? Cannot repeat. All right, does the mapping diagram represent a function? And then you have to explain. Does this one represent a function? No, you have the one with the 3 and the one with the 4. So the element of the domain 1 repeats, right? What about letter B? 1 with 4, 2 with 3, 3 with 4, 4 with 5, and 5 with 6. Yes, this is a function. Yes, this is a function. All right, very quickly, very easy. If you watched the video yesterday, you should have been able to do this really quick, right? Yay? And if you stayed, you watched the video with me. All right, any questions about this? No? Awesome. All right, let's go into be doing what we need to be doing today. I need my paper, people, and my materials. Just open up. Thank you. Can I have one? Thank you. Let's talk about the blue paper first. You can put those on a box that says toolbox, on a folder that says toolbox. So give me the paper clip, please. Okay, can we close the doors over there? That's bothering me. Daddy tell you took it? We're good? All right. Let's go to the blue paper. All right, this is your first cheat sheet. We've talked about the cheat sheets, right? And the cheat sheets are papers that you're going to be able to use at all times. You cannot take it home. If you want a copy to stay home, just let me know and I'll make you a copy. But if you're going to take it home, just leave it home, okay? Don't worry about bringing it back because this one stays in the notebook, okay? My suggestion is to put it right in the front of the notebook. When you open the notebook, that's the first paper that you use. No, I still have another class one. Thank you, baby. All right, somebody just has a front and not a back. Check your paper. Somebody just has a front and not a back. Alright, I'm going to wait for everybody to be quiet because I'm not going to lose my time or my breath while you're talking, correct? Thank you very much. Alright. I'm waiting. Still waiting. Alright, so cheat sheets are exactly, they're cheats that they're legal cheat sheets you can cheat out of. You can have them in front of you starting our next weekly assessment, okay? Now, some of these things we still haven't gotten to it, but we will sometime next week. We definitely have done elements of the domain and elements of the range. We did that a little bit yesterday with the, right? We're going to talk a little bit about discrete and continuous over the next 2 days, which is this right here. All right, these are the cheat sheets that my kids used last year. They really, really like them because it kind of helps out. It's just information that you don't have to remember. It's right there in front of you, okay? You cannot add anything to this cheat sheet unless I authorize you to do that. Do we understand that? Because once you take your test, I will check cheat sheets before you take your quiz. All right? So you can only add when I have done what? I have given you what? Permission to do so. Otherwise, no. You do not write on them unless I tell you, okay, let's add this to the cheat sheet. Do you understand? Yes? All right. You should be placed on, when you open up your notebook, that's the first thing that you do. If you don't want to, while you're in class, I would suggest taking it out of the notebook, right? So you don't have to have that big old notebook open. But then before you close the notebook and we collect notebooks, just go ahead and put it on that first, right in front when you see it, okay? You will end up with about 3 or 4 of these. They will all be different colors, and because we will keep adding stuff to it, all right? Are we good with that? Yes? All right, so let's talk a little bit about your video, your video yesterday. Talk to me about what a function is. What is a function? The elements of the what? Thank you. The elements of the domain. Do not repeat. Do not repeat. Do not repeat. Very good. All right. So, Juliana. Nope, that's another class. Sorry. Ernesto. Let's go to the first one. All right, Ernesto. Is that a function? Yes or no? And how do you know? Yes, it is. How do you know? Very good. Because the x's, but how do you know that the x's do not repeat? Ernesto? Okay. Help him out, Miguel. What did you say? It passes the vertical line test, right? It passes the vertical line test where you draw lines, and it only touches that line that you draw how many times? Once. Very good. So is this a function? Yes, it is. So let's put a Y for yes. We're going to talk about the domain and the range in a second. All right. Yaritza, the next one, is it a function? No. How do you know? Very good. How do you know? Good job. Say that again. X's repeat, but it's because it doesn't pass what? The vertical line test. So this would be a? Not a function. Very good. All right. Next one. Rocio, is number 3 a function? Yes, it is. Very good. It passes the vertical line test. Just draw a couple of lines. Does it touch that line only once? Maybe I should use a different highlighter. Can you guys see that? All right. Jasmine, function, yes or no? Function? How do you know? Very good. It passes the line, right? It's only touching once. Very good. Christopher, function. Yes. Now in this one, you definitely need to draw all the lines, right? Because it's got points kind of all over the place, right? You can also connect them and see if you have any vertical lines. If you don't have any vertical lines, this is definitely a function. So this is yes. Very good. All right. Carolina, is it a function? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, this is a function. All right. Mauricio, is it a function? Yes. Vertical line test. Very good. All right. Saul, is it a function? Yes, it sure is. Look at those lines. Very good. The last one, because we're going to do the back in a second. Carolyn, is that a function? The last one, number 10, number 9. Do the vertical line test. Do the lines, right? Draw the lines. Draw the lines. Somebody in that team, help her out. Jerita says no. How does Jerita know that it is a no? I did the lines, and how many times does it touch? Twice. So this would be a no. Are we good with that? All right, so let's talk about domain and range. So you guys have 4 little pieces of index cards, right? All right. So yesterday we learned that what are the elements of the domain? Your x's, right? All right. So let's go ahead and write on 2 of them. Let's go ahead and write domain at the top. And this is your first coordinate, right? Which I believe it was Cesar that told me that it was what? What are the elements of the domain? Somebody told me my x's. Very good. Yay? All right. So, when you are looking for the elements of the domain, which are your first coordinate, which is your x, right? How do you look at the graph? Do you look at the graph horizontally or do you look at the graph vertically? Vertical is x? Up and down? Oh, horizontally, right? So let's go ahead and take one of our highlighters or a marker. And we're going to decide that this is from left to right. Correct? So that's where I'm looking. I'm looking right and left, right and left, right and left. Yay? All right, so let me show you how we're going to use the index cards. So if it's asking you for the elements of the domain, and you're going to be able to use this on the test, this is part of your cheat sheet as well, so don't lose them. Put them in those little pockets today, right, on the binder. So we know that we got to look at the graph from right to left. So I'm going to go ahead and see, okay, so this graph is from there to there. See how I'm using my index cards? Yes? So I'm using it from here to here. All right, so that's my domain. Does that line help? To help you figure out that it's from right to left. Yay? Because my kids last year had a really hard time with this, but I think it was my fault. I didn't explain it well. It wasn't their fault. It was me. So we came up with some new things for this year. All right. Now, what does that line mean? Does that mean, does it stop? Does that line stop? No, it continues. That little arrow, I should say arrow, no line. That arrow means that it just keeps going and going and going, right? So the domain for this is from negative infinity to positive infinity. So let's write it as an interval. So it would be from negative infinity to positive infinity. Now, infinity technically doesn't stop, so I need to use parentheses and not brackets. We're going to see the difference in a few. All right? Now, you have your two cards for domain, right? Now, let's use the other two to make what? Range. All right? So, let's do the same thing. Range. Range. And range is not your first coordinate, it would be your second coordinate. And those will be your y's, right? And then this one is not horizontally, it's what? Vertically. So guess where my line should be? Up and down. So that you know that you look at the graph up and down. Okay? All right, so this is how we're going to use my cards. So since I know I had to take a look at the graph up and down, I'm going to put one at the top and then one at the bottom. And where does it go? It doesn't, this one doesn't go to infinity, right? It goes up a certain way to a certain limit, and then it goes down to a certain limit. So what is it? I believe this is my 0. So that will be 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So from what to what? You're looking at me like I'm Medusa. From -3 to +3, right? Do we understand what I'm doing? I'm taking the limits because it's up and down, right? So if this is 0, would be 1, 2, and 3, and then 1, 2, and 3. We usually start with the smallest one, and then we end up with the biggest one. So the range would be from -3 to 3. Now this one has brackets and not parentheses because it includes that 3 and it stops at that -3 and that +3. Infinity doesn't stop, right? So I can close it if it doesn't stop. It's like growing and growing and growing and getting older and older and older, but then never dying. Right? Who wants that? Nobody. I want to die eventually. All right. So let's go to domain. Let's take our cards for domain. Domain would be right and left, right? Yes? I think this is my 0. Maybe we need to highlight the X and the Y's because it's really hard to see, isn't it? All right. So that's my domain. Because it's this way, right? Okay? So from -1, because that's 0, so that should be -1, right? To 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Do you see it? From -1 to +9. Brackets or parentheses? Brackets. Very good. All right. Let's do my range. My range is up and down, right? So there and there. Uh-oh. Let me not cover the 0, right? So from 1 2, 3, 4, and 5. So from 1 to 5, brackets. Good job. Does it make a little bit of sense? Do the index cards help? Or are they too confusing? All right, we've only done 2, so let's go ahead and... All right, let's do the domain. Oh, but what happens with the arrows? It keeps going and going and going and going and going, right? It doesn't stop. So from what to what? Negative infinity to positive infinity. They also say when it's something like that, they also would say all real numbers. All real numbers, because it's all of them, right? It's all the numbers. Now, what about your range? All right. I know it has that, but can I put an index card over here at the bottom? No, because the arrows means that it keeps going and going and going. Very good. So this one is going to have a bracket on one side, but a parentheses on the other. All right, so what's my number? This is 1. So that would be 2, 1, 2, and 3. So positive 3 to what? Negative infinity. Thank you very much, because it's going down, right? From to negative infinity. Very good. To negative infinity. Yay? Oh, this one is so easy because it's a line, and what happens with the line? It just keeps going and going and going. So what would be the domain? Wait, say that again. On number 3? No, because as it keeps going and going and going, it's growing on the positives, but it's also growing on the negatives. So that y just keeps going wider and wider and wider and wider, right? So it keeps going wider and wider and wider and wider, which means it keeps going on the positives because these are positives, right? It's already on the positives right now. But then when it keeps on going and going and going, eventually it will get to the negatives. Yay? Can you see it? All right. So this one, when it's lines like that, is so easy because it's what? It's all real numbers, right? For the domain, can I enclose this graph? Can I say it's only from here to here? No, right? Because it has arrows. It keeps going. So it's from negative infinity to positive infinity. And can I do that for the range? No, I can't because it keeps on going. So it's from negative infinity to positive infinity. Yay? All right. I'm gonna show you how to do that in a second because this is a little bit more hands-on. But let's do this one. Let's do domain. All right. So domain. Let me highlight my X and my Y because it's hard to see in this darn copy. All right. So domain would be from here to here. So talk to me about those numbers. This is 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 5, right? And then 1, 2, 3, and 4. So what's my domain? From negative 5 to 4, brackets or parentheses? Brackets on both because it includes it. Very good. What about my range? This one is interesting. What happens with the range? What happens with the range? It's 0? It's 0? That's 0. So what happens with the range over here? Look at it. It's what? It stays on what? It's just 7. Very good. It's a horizontal line. It just stays on that. It's just a horizontal line, right? Now let me make sure that it's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 6. All right. So for the range, y equals what? 6. And that's it. Can only be equal to 6. It cannot be equal to anything else. Yay? All right. Let's highlight my x and my y. Let's do the domain. All right. So the domain, can I enclose over here? Do I need to use both index cards or can I just use one? Just one, because that arrow means that it keeps what? Going and going and going. All right. So this is my 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and negative 5 to what? To positive infinity. All right. Do I have brackets or do I have parentheses? I have both. So bracket on the negative 5. Look at it. Do I really have bracket on the negative 5? No, because it's what? It's open. Thank you, Karen. Karen figured it out really quick. She said it's open. Why? It's parentheses because it's open. It does not include what? Negative 5. And of course, infinity, you cannot enclose it. It just keeps on going and going and going. All right? Let's do the range. I'm mixing cards. I'm sorry. All right. So the range starts there. And can I enclose it over here? No, I sure cannot. Very good. All right, but let me not, it starts there, right? Let me not cover my 0 so that I know. So it starts there. That would be 1, 2, and 3. No, that's a positive. It's going up, right? It's positive to go to heaven. Heaven is up, right? It's negative to go to Hades. All right, so it's 3. And then what over here? Infinity. All right, talk to me about brackets or parentheses. 1, 2, 3, right? That's 3 on y. Does it include that 3? No, it doesn't. It's open, right? So parentheses and parentheses. And then tomorrow I'm going to show you how to do this with intervals. I can't do it all together because I'm going to confuse the heck out of you. Are we good? Yay? All right, let's talk about this one. Let's do the domain. Domain. All right, I can stop there, but can I stop here? No. Oh, I didn't highlight my X and my Y. I'm sorry. All right, so it stops there. This is my 0. So 1 and, is it 2? All right. So 2 to what? To positive infinity. Positive infinity, right? If this is 0, this is my negative. X is positive 2, right? Yeah, don't confuse it with the range. Don't confuse it with the range would be negative. Yes, but not the. So do I do brackets or parentheses? Talk to me. Parentheses over here and then bracket over there because it includes that too. Very good. Alrighty. Now what about my range? Let's do my range. It stops there, right? But then can I enclose it over here? Can I stop it? No. Now this one is negative, right? So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Negative 6 to what? Positive infinity, and then parentheses and brackets. All right. All right. All right, next one, as a table, go. As a table, go. Go, go, go. My suggestion is if the cards are getting you confused, just don't use the cards, okay? I thought it would help. It helped last year's kids, so that's why I'm using them with you because they didn't understand it until we pull out the cards, okay? So this is the purpose of the cards. The domain is right and left. That's why we have that line going horizontally, right? So what you need to do when you have a figure like this is you go to the furthest points. How wide is it? Domain is, this is my domain. Well, actually, this is my domain. All right? I'm wider here than I am here. There you go. So this is my domain, but then what's my range? All the way over here, right? So do you understand? So domain is how wide you are. Range is how tall you are. That's why you have the two different lines, right? This is wide, and this is tall. We got it? Yay? All right. So this would be from -1. Yes? So -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and -9. Very good. So the domain is from -9 to -1. I usually don't take away points if you invert the numbers. It's okay as long as you have the bracket with the bracket, right? And the parentheses with the right one. All right, now, the range is up and down. So it's from here to there. So that would be, this is 0 from +2, yes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and -7. So from +2 to -7. Yes? Yay or nay? We're going to do this again tomorrow. Don't worry about it. For the rest of the week, this is all we're doing. Domain and range. Because this is a 0. That's your 0, right? Domain? Do you understand that it's from here to here? Because it's the widest part, right? So I cannot use my waist to take my widest part because that's not my widest part. All right? So it's from here to here. So you get -1 all the way to here, which is -9. This just takes a little bit of practice because, again, it's something that you haven't done before. All right? There's a lot of things. Plus, you guys are missing a whole lot of Math 8. So that's why this class is only for a selected few. All right, so let's do this. Let's go to the back. Given the graph, find the following. F of 0. I'm going to tell you this is function notation. Let's write this down. This is function notation. And it's f of x, which is the same thing as y of x. So the f is your y. The f of x is your y. Okay? So this number is your x. Basically, is asking you when x equals 0, what is y? So when x equals 0, what is y? Thank you. It's right there. Where does it touch y? This is x equals 0, right? Do we understand that this is x, this is 0? This is 0. That's 0. So where in 0 does it touch y? Well, right there. So that would be 2. All right, so in the next one, on B, when x equals 1, what does y equal to? All right, so let's see. There you go. This is x equals 1, so what is y? 0. With me? All right, when x equals -5, what is 5? Well, let's look for -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, -5, and then you got to go down to y. It's that point right there. So it's negative 1, 2, 3, and negative 4. Shh. We got it? All right, x equals 3. So let's see. 1, 2, 3. There's nothing, is there? Let's see again. 1, 2, 3. Anything up here? Anything up there? 8. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Do I have anything on y? Do I have anything on y? We can't answer this one, right? All right. When x equals negative 3, or undefined, or it's not, we just leave it blank because we can't do it, right? Let's see. 1, 2, negative 3. Negative 1. Is it this one right here? No, that's open, right? That's open, so it's negative 1. All right, so when x equals 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, yeah, there is. Look it up there. Do you see it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You go down, there's nothing down, but is there something up? Yes. What's the number? 8. Did you guys count it? Because I'm not counting. I'm counting on you guys to count. All right. When x equals negative 2. All right, so negative 2 would be negative 1. There you go. And when x equals 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's nothing down, but is there something up? Negative 8, right? I'm sorry. 8. Yay? All right.